closed, case transfer number, and you can stop them. Okay, you don't have to finish. Now, if you are celebrating, if you want to go out, if you just want to relax, that's totally fine. Okay, so the whole idea is not to make it hard to the point where you are not able to solve it. Okay, that's not the point. The point is just like I want to make sure that you learn this thing. Okay, now 1 day, 2 days, it's not a big issue. Uh, like high grade, low grade, those things all don't matter. Okay, what matters is that you just learned these things. Okay, so today we'll take a very quick introduction to views. Okay, okay, so views are intended to show us the data that we are bringing from the backend. So backend mostly is responsible for dealing with databases, with those type of calculations, with making the business logic. For example, if you failed 5 courses, you failed the whole year. If you know, stuff like that. So this is the job of the business logic, mostly the back end portion. Now the view is responsible of showing those things to us. And that's what you have been studying in the front end part for the first 5 months. Okay, how to show them, how to organize things, and everything you learned in HTML, in CSS, in JavaScript is extremely important to achieve this job. Now, of course, we won't study JavaScript and CSS and HTML again. Okay, we will barely talk about them actually. Okay, because we already did that. We don't want to waste more time on them. You will be able to figure out how to combine what you have learned with ASP.NET MVC. Okay, it's not a very like if you are still remembering HTML and CSS, it's very easy to write them here because there is a place to write them. Okay, but of course you need to review what you already learned in if you are interested in making good looking pages. So what we will care about here is just what's enough for us to show few things, okay, and not the overall view thing. Okay, just what's enough to show, and from there you can go like, oh, now I know all the basics in ASP and VC, and I already learned HTML and CSS. Now I can combine both. Okay. Now, in real life, you mostly get specialized in one of them. You can see lots of people asking for full stack and people who know everything, but eventually you will get specialized in this or this. Okay, both are great. Okay, although the salaries of people who work with back end tend to be more. Salaries of people who work with data, for example, tend to be more because most people start with like HTML and CSS are very easy, so they learn for a few months and they go to work. That's why most front end developers are not very experienced. Now, if you are a very strong, experienced front end web developer, you will be invaluable for any company. They will give you whatever you want to stay because it's very hard to find experienced people and professionals in front end development. Most people are between like junior to intermediate maybe, but the people who are really experts in front end are really harder to find than people who are experienced in back end development. So of course it all eventually depends on what you like and what you prefer. If you are good in what you do, then like it's not a big issue. Like eventually you will be very valuable to the company you are working on. Okay. So I'm not sure what Zach is sending. Okay. Yeah, so for the Mac OS, guys, you really need to install Windows. Like we will work with SQL Server now. Things will get more complicated if you are working with Mac only. Okay, so at some point you will need Windows. So sooner is better than later. Okay, so let's start looking at the views. So you will let's see the views that are already there. So for example, the about page. Okay, so you will notice that the code is almost HTML, but not totally HTML. Okay, so in ASP.NET MVC, they developed a new language for writing views called the Razor View or the Razor language. I think, or the Razor engine, maybe. Okay, but it's called Razor. Okay, so you will notice that you are somehow combining C# with HTML and CSS. Okay, so Razor is a bit similar to C#. Okay, and we will learn it while like we are learning views. But the first thing we need to take a look that you see almost in any page is the view bag. Okay, so the view bag is a bag for the view. Okay, so what does that mean? That means it's a way to transform information from the back end to the view, from your controllers to the view. Okay, so what kind of information? Sometimes you want to show a message for the user. Sometimes you want to change the title of the page. Okay, so like you have lots of things that you are interested in sending. Okay, of course, if you want to send like a whole list of something, that's not very appropriate to send it in a view bag. That's when you change the whole model of the page to be of the type of the list. That's what we will see for the next thing. Okay, but first let's start with the view bag. So a view bag again is a way to transform information from the controllers to the views. Let's go to the home controller. So notice the about page. Okay, the about page is setting something called viewbag.message. Now, something you need to know about viewbag that the type of the viewbag is not a string, is not an integer. It's a type called dynamic. So dynamic is something that was added later to C#, which can contain any type. Okay, but once you set the value, okay, you can change the type later. So you can say dynamic s equals hello world, for example. So now s is a string. Okay, so you are saying it's dynamic because you don't know what is the thing you are going to put. So people who made the view bag, they don't know what you are going to put in it. Okay, so they made it dynamic that it can accept anything. Okay, now in the view bag, you can name any variable you want to be the container of your data. So you can say something like viewbag dot. So after the dot, here you can write anything. Here you can write the name of your variable that you want to send to the front end. Okay. So viewbag.test message, for example, equals test. Okay. So I want to send this test message to the view to show it, for example. Okay. So I just in the controller, I can say, okay, viewbag.test message equals something. Okay. What if I want to say like viewbag dot number of customers? Okay, for example, equals 6. So in some page, for some reason, I want to show the number of customers. So I can send this in a view bag as well. And then in the view, all what I need to do is, okay, let's show. So for example, h1 at view bag, okay, dot So what you wrote there, you can replicate here. So for example, test message. Okay, you can use it anywhere inside the view. So anywhere inside the view, you have access to this test message because you defined it in the controller. Okay, here like in any place, if you have a table, do you remember tables? If you have divs, a div somewhere, you can say, okay, I want to show the view bag view bag dot num of customers. Okay, so eventually it's a way to send information, mostly lightweight stuff. Okay, titles, messages, error message. Okay, from the controller to the view, but it can virtually hold anything. Okay, now I always forget the syntax of the views because I really don't touch them from year to year. So some if sometimes I'm making mistakes, please correct me and just be patient. Sometimes I just forget because this one, like the at, everything you see in yellow is mostly the Razor code, and you also have the HTML code. Sometimes you will see CSS. Okay, so the idea here is to focus on the back end portion. That's why you will see most of our views extremely ugly. Okay, and make you want to like destroy this website. But our focus is on the front end, not on the back end, not the front end. Okay, so let's see, for example, this one. By the way, if you are in a view and you started your application, it will go right away to this view. So you don't need to type the URL of it. Okay, just start your application while you are opening a view. It should go right away to that page. Okay, so you saw the test. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing. Oh, it should be customers. Okay. So the thing about views, you can modify them while your application is running as well. Okay. So I was able to send some information, regardless of how useless they are, from the controller to the view to show it to the user. Now you need to be extremely careful that the only part who is responsible for showing is the view. So don't write like HTML code in the controllers or try to uh, organize your view in the model or in the controller somehow. Okay. The whole idea of MVC is to separate the whole code logically. Okay. Here are the classes. Here are the controllers. Here's the view. Okay. Now, now the whole problem was before. If you open some old code, especially PHP code, you will see like in the same page they have front end and back end and for loops and HTML stuff in the same file, which made things extremely hard to test, to fix in the future. Okay, so to show stuff, the view is responsible for that. Okay, view back. Okay, that's for the view back. Yeah, and of course, like H1, H2, H3, like this is someone make it. What what was the word of H? Is it a header? Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's header. Yeah. So please always excuse my front end skills. I've not I didn't work front end for like 10 years. So if you saw me messing up anything, just please just correct me right away. Okay. So you can also set the view bag inside the view itself. So here, like you can set it in the top of the page. Okay. You can start a Razor code block. Okay, and set it up like here. Okay, here, like for example, you want the title to be about title of the page. Okay, you remember you have in HTML you have the head, then the body. Inside the head, there's title. Okay, so that's the title that will show up viewback.title. Okay, but anyway, um, let's go to let's go to index. Now you will see that the index has lots of HTML code, but it's nothing but like static HTML. See those things that you can see here. Okay, like all of this talk. Okay, all of this is actually written statically in here. It's not being brought from like a database or something. Okay, so here just like few divs, h2p for paragraph. You have a, that's for links, href, okay, that's for the URL. I'm hoping that you are starting to remember HTML things because that was the very first course you had, and it should be now, like it had been a while. Okay, so the index page is pretty easy. Um, what about there's a folder called shared. So like you will notice that, okay, those are nice, okay, everything is here, but what about those? Like you will see that there are some stuff that are not in here. So this page starts from the word ASP.NET is a free framework. So it starts from here. Okay, what about those guys? Like those links, where are they? Okay, so they are not in the index page. And you will notice that if you went to about, they are still here, although I don't have them in the about. You also have that footer here. If you went to contact, you will notice, oh, it's still here. The footer is still the same, but the page, the body of the page is changing. Okay. So first, that's what we call the header and the footer. Okay, that's something you know. Okay, where are they? So they are here. So in the shared folder, okay, you have few things. First, you have the layout, okay, and let's start like examining the layout. So you have the tag head in here. Head in the title is using whatever you have in the viewback.title. So, you know, this is the shared page. The layout is the shared page that's shared among all your pages. Okay. Because now when you go to like Amazon.com, it doesn't matter which page you go to, you always have those like the main menu in the header, and you have the footer that tells you like copyrights and stuff. So those are the shared content. Of course, you can create multiple ones. Okay, that's fine. But notice, for example, in the tag head, you have the tag title, right? That's HTML standard stuff. So what is the title? The title is going to change between page to page. So you don't want to have a static title here, right? So that's why you are using viewback.title. So whatever the viewback.title for this page is, you will be using it as the title. Styles.render, uh, this is to render CSS code. Style scripts.render, this is used to render JS or JavaScript code that you write. Okay, so you can access the JavaScript using scripts.render. Of course, before any razor code you have, you need the at character. So the at character will tell you, oh, that's not HTML, that's razor code. Okay. So you have the body, okay, div, you have some divs here. That's all like CSS stuff, okay, just to organize the look. And then, oh, look at that. You have application name, and it's actually a link. So do you remember the tag A in HTML? What was the purpose of tag A? Like A, then href.
Two links.
Link.
So it was a link. Now we have a better one in Razor. Okay, it's called HTML dot action link. So it's basically the same. It will like eventually in the browser it will translate to the a tag. Okay, but here it's better because we can give the title. So for example, my MVC application. So instead of application name, I am able to change it to my MVC application. Okay, so this is a link, right? It will take you to a page, right? And all our pages are in some controller, right? So here you write what is the page name. So like here, what's the page name? If you clicked on this link, it will take you to this page, which is in this controller. So what's the name of this controller? It's home controller, but you don't use the word controller. It's called home. Okay. And is there a page called index in here? Okay. So that's the page I want to go when I press on that action link. Okay. And the rest, ignore them for now. Those are CSS stuff. Okay. Let's take a look here. You have, like, after some CSS classes, you have html.actionLink. Yeah, okay, so this is just a link the user can click. Okay, what's the title? For example, this one. The title is about. Okay, let's change this to about page. It will take you to the function or to the page about in the controller that's called what? Home. Okay, contact will take you to the controller home to exactly the page contact. Okay, let's see if our changes are being taken. So all what we're doing here is we are seeing the code that's already written. Okay, we are not writing our own. So notice that the title of the website changed and the about is called about page now, not just about. And if you went there, those are still the same. Okay, and yeah, now you will expect that, oh, this is somewhere in the shared layout as well, this footer. Okay, let's go to the footer. So somewhere in the footer, you should find this. So notice that how they use dynamic code here. So the whole purpose of Razor code is to make the code dynamic. You know, in HTML, it's always static, right? In HTML, you need to write like 2020 copyrights. But if you are using Razor code, now you can use at, okay, start some Razor code, and you can use now C# code, okay? So you can say datetime.now.here. So if they, like next year, you forgot to change the footer, that's fine. Why? Because this code is dynamic. It's no longer just a number. Many times you go to websites, you find like in the footer, copyright 2016, because someone like no one like remembered to change the copyright. But now it's all dynamic. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. And then there is my ASP application, which you can see here. Okay. So it's very important to know exactly everything that was written. Okay, so where is the actual content? So you can see, okay, this is the header with action links. Okay, this is the footer with the dynamic here. That's nice. Okay, so how the layout page is able to understand that in the middle there is the page content. Okay, let's go back. So it should be somewhere between those links, the header and the footer, right? Okay, it's between them. So look at this, at render body. So render body is a function, okay, a special function that says, okay, now between this and this, in this div, okay, I will render the body of the page that I am in. So maybe I'm in about page, maybe I'm in contact. The body of that page will go in here, exactly between the header and the footer. and it will be in a class called container body content. Okay. Now, where is this body? This is the about page code, like all of this. This is the index page. Okay. So it's the page you are in. Okay. That's the render body. Okay. It will be squeezed between the footer and the header all the time. Okay. And that's the job of the render body function. Now, in most of our applications, we will not change this main layout. But in the last two projects, when we ask you to build a full website, you will need to come and change the overall look. You need to know exactly, okay, where's the body is going to be. Okay, it will be in render body. Okay, well, like you can take this render body and write it here. But now the body of the page about or content, it will be above the main menu, which not what you want. Okay, so you can write it wherever you want. Okay, so the people who wrote it, they said, okay, like here is exactly the place we want. Okay, so from all of this, what we care about is first, we can write dynamic code whenever we want in any place. Now, be careful that this is only dynamic code for what? For viewing. So you can create a for each here. You can write a for each to show stuff. That's fine. You can show the date time. You can show view bank. But don't, like, for example, write code to calculate the cost of a movie. That's not something the view is supposed to do. The view is supposed to show you that cost. Okay. So the view is supposed to show you the cost, not to calculate the cost. Okay. So you need to be extremely careful. Okay. The view is like just supposed to show things, not query the database to bring them, not calculate them. Okay. You are breaking the whole concept of MVC here. Okay. So you can do it, but you are not supposed to do so. So they give you an engine that can, like here, you can write any C# stuff you want, most of them. Okay. But you are not supposed to do so. Okay. So just be careful. Now here, like this code is dynamic. Yeah, it looks like C#, but I'm not supposed to just write whatever I want and jam all my code in one place. Okay. At html.action link is extremely important. That's something we will use all the time. Okay, to create links. Okay, so when you click on something, it will take you to this page. Okay, so let's, for example, from the movies controller, hopefully you want. So what pages do we have? Get movie info with link. Okay, let's get action movies. Okay, so in the movie controller, I have a page called get action movies. Oh no, this is a list. Okay, let's forget the lists for now. Okay, yeah, before that, let's just go step by step. You will ask yourself, okay, so how am I showing or calling the correct view? So here I have so many views, right? About, contact, index, in the home controller. So let's go to home controller. Okay, index it's just saying return view. About is just saying return view. It's not saying return the view of about page. So the thing in MVC, if you are not saying the name of the view, if you are not specifying the name, okay, it will look for a view that matches the name of the function, of the action result itself. So I am inside the function about, which is supposed to be a page. Okay. I am saying return view. So now my code will go to the home folder. Of course, it will look inside the home folder. Why? Because I am in the home controller. So it will match everything with each which with the view thing. So I'm in the home controller, so it will go to the home folder. Okay. I am in the about function. I am performing the about code. So it will look for a view called about. If you don't have a view called about, you will have an exception. Okay. So it will match the names. So matching names is extremely important in ASP.NET MVC. Okay. So when you say, okay, I have a function called about or a function and a page called contact, that means I most likely have a page also, a view, okay, a view called contact. Okay. So it will look, when you say return view, okay, it will look for a page, okay, that is named contact, just like the name of the controller, of the function in the controller. And it will not look in all folders. It will just look in the same folder as the controller name. So for each controller, you have a folder. So how many controllers do we have? We have home controller. Okay, so we have a folder called controller. We have movie controller. Okay, so we have a folder called movie. That's where you put all the views for movie. We have a folder or a controller called actor. That means we have a folder for all the views related to actor. Okay, so it's all about matching the names. Okay, let's write some pages and let's create some pages in the movie. Okay, first, before that, is there any question?
What was the HR in the view? Um,
Which view?
any view? I think it was home. HR was like at the bottom. Yeah, that between footer and.
Yeah, HR, this is an HTML tag. It was paragraph label.
Horizontal line.
It's like BR, right?
Oh. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let me call John. Just a second. I think someone should fail the HTML course. Okay, just a second. Yeah, send. Yeah. Okay. This is just a pure HTML tag. Okay. Now I really like that Saria is not afraid of asking, and sorry for just making those terrible jokes. Please try ask anything. Okay. Now I really don't remember HR. Like, what's the difference between HR and BR? I know BR because I use it all the time. It looks like it's something similar to BR, or it's just horizontal. Yeah, maybe. But of course, don't use BRs and not sure about HRs, but don't use them. Try to make it responsive. About responsive design. Roy.
Oh, hi, Mohammed. So,
Hey.
I just didn't totally get the use of the action link, like the add
Yeah, well, it's a
HTML.
link. It's just a link that a user can click on. So, this is a link, right? See
Yeah.
the hand.
Yeah. So it's similar to the HTML tag called A, right?
It's actually the same.
It's the same.
So eventually,
what is...
when you right click and inspect element, it will be converted to A.
Oh, okay.
Because Firefox doesn't understand action link. Okay.
Okay.
Firefox is a browser to work with all web languages, right? That's why Firefox only understands HTML standard things. Okay, like Action Link and Razor, those are something Microsoft invented just for themselves. But eventually it will translate or convert to HTML so the browsers can understand what is this. Okay?
So which means like if you want to use the action link, you have to add
Yeah.
HTML dot action link
Yeah,
before
because
that.
this is not pure HTML. This is Razor code.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So how about those elements inside the parameters after the action link?
Yeah, so those are style elements, okay, just for the style, I guess. But we will use parameters as well to, like, for example, to pass a parameter to the link. But those are just style stuff. We don't usually use them. What we use is the parameters, which we will see in a later class. Okay. So
Yeah.
like for now, just focus on the first three. Okay. We will see the parameters very soon. So first now is the title of the link. Then what is the actual page? Then what is the controller? Okay, so each page is in some controller, home controller, movie controller. Okay, so movie controller has so many pages. Okay, we want to navigate to one of them. So let's create a page in movies. First, let's create the index page. You know, you always need the index page because it's like when someone goes to movies, this is the default page. So let's add, so right click in the folder of the movie, add view, and let's call it index. Here you can set some properties like what is the template you want? Is it a page to create thing? Is it a page to delete thing? Those stuff we will use very soon. Okay, but for now just keep it empty. And you can say if you want to use the layout, do you remember the shared page? Okay, so if you want to use that shared page, okay, keep this one clicked. Otherwise, maybe you want to use another one. Maybe you don't want to use that shared page which has the header and the footer. Okay, so just keep it. Yeah, we want it. Okay, so view back the title. Let's call it, for example, movie homepage. Okay, and inside here, okay, welcome to our movie homepage. Okay, just anything. Okay, so please let's work together. So we created the view. Now we want the controller code. Okay, the code that will send you to this view, right? So where should I write the code for this view? In which controller? Movie controller, because here is the movie folder. So of course, I need to go to movie controller. So here I need to create a page called what? It should match the name of the view. What's the name of the view?
Index.
Okay, so I need to create a page here, a function called index. Now this one most of the time is already written. Okay, so let's suppose that it's not here. So first it needs to be public. The type of pages, if you want to return a view, it's called action result. Now don't ask me why they called it action result, because it's just a name. That's what they want to name it. So if you want to return a view, not a string, not a list, okay? You want to return a page to show a page to the user, okay? That's when you return action result. Now the name should match to the name of the view. That's like the most important tool. If it doesn't match, it will not work. Okay. Okay, index. Now some pages, they take parameters, some don't. Okay, this one, it doesn't take any parameter. So it needs to return a view. Okay, for example, let's put in the view bag dot username equals Mike. Okay, so for example, this username, you usually bring it from the logged in user, right? You know, when you log in, you bring, but here I'm just like making it hard coded. So maybe you will bring it from a database, from the logged in user session, from whatever, wherever you want. But now I will hard code it for now. Okay. So I didn't say which view I want to return, but that's fine because that means I will return a view that's named the same name as my controller. Okay. So return view is enough. You don't need to say which view you want to show. Okay, it will match the name with something here. Okay, now if your function is called movies list and you don't have a view called movies list, that's when you will have an exception, unless you specify manually the name of the view. Okay, so again, for the 7th time, if you didn't say what is the view you are returning, it will assume that you have a view the same name as the function. Okay. Okay. So in the view bag, I just stored something called the username. Okay. Let's go to the index page. Welcome. So here I can say at viewbag dot username. So I want to put the username of the person who is logging in. Now, if there's no username, okay, then you won't be able to see anything. Okay, so let's start this one. So you need a view and a controller to show a page eventually. Okay, they need to match the name and they need to be in the correct folder and in the correct controller. Okay, so the name was dynamic here and you will set it in the view bag. Okay, is it working for everyone? So
Hi, Mohammed.
Aaron.
Yeah, I just have a question about like how to set the default page for the app. Like we are now opening this page by just clicking the start in our
Yeah.
movie controller, but I think the default page should still be the home controller, right?
Yeah, the default page will be the home controller, but when you open the app while you are in a view, it will take you right away to the view to save you the time. But the
Oh,
start page is not changing. The start page is always the main page, the the the
oh,
index of the home controller.
okay,
Okay, so you can change it actually. So in app start, okay, that's the topic of another class, but in case you want, in a folder called app start, there's a file called route config. Okay, here you can specify what is the default page of your website, of the whole website. So here it's in controller called home and the page is called index. You can make the about page your default. You can make the movies index your default. Okay,
oh,
so this is
oh,
the default
nice.
website for your visitors, the default page for your visitors. But you as a programmer, if you are inside about view, when you start, it will take you right away just to save you time because it's assuming that you want to see this page.
Yeah, okay, thank
Okay,
you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah,
Hey,
we'll talk
Mohammed,
about this later and we will use it actually.
is the route config like React Router?
I don't really know React, sorry, but it's a
Oh,
way for like forming your URLs and to say what is the default page and stuff.
okay.
But
I think
I'm
it's
I'm
similar to
very sorry
Buffalo.
because I really don't know React. Okay, okay, let's write another page, but this time, uh, okay, so movie controller. So what about this one? Get movie info. Okay, so first we made it look like just a string. Okay, and we were like deciding what to show the user here, which is pretty like against what we are supposed to do. Like we are supposed to send the movie to the view, okay, and the view is supposed to show that movie, right? That's how it should be done. Like the controller shouldn't decide what the user is going to see exactly. So we will send an ID of a movie, we will get that movie, and we will send it to the view. And the view, okay, it's your job. Hey, you have a movie, it's your job, just show it for the user. Okay, so let's try to change this one. So first you need a page, okay, called get movie info. Where should I create this page? In which folder? In the movie. In the movie, because I'm in the movie controller. Okay, so in the movie, add a new view and just call it get movie info. Okay, nice. I have a page. Okay, that's nice. Okay, now this page should send a movie to the view so the movie can show it. Okay, so this one should return, sorry, an action result. So it should return the page that I just created. Okay. So for each var, if return, okay, so that's the return is the problem. Okay, the return is what I need to change. Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to get the movie I'm looking for, and send it to that view. Okay, so I'm iterating over all the movies. Okay, and I can do this in link. How do I do this in link? Like I have all movies list. How do I get the movie?
First
First or default var. Sorry, var movie equals all movies dot first or default. Okay, how do you find that movie?
ID.
Yeah, so I have the ID of the one that I want. So m.id equals to what? To what the user is sending to me. Okay, so now I have a movie. Now it could be a real movie, okay, an actual movie, or could be null. Why it could be null? Because I'm using or default. Okay, but my controller doesn't really care. My controller tries to bring the movie and will send it to the view to show it. Okay, that's the job of the controller. Okay, so now I want to return the view, and I will send the movie to that view. So I will say, okay, return the view that's called get movie info and send to it the actual movie. Okay, now you may ask, okay, why not use the view bag? The view bag is not suitable for everything. So the main thing that you want to show in the page, okay, is supposed to be sent this way, sent to the view. Now, if there's like an additional message, something like a list for the user to choose from, okay, stuff are not the main purpose of the movie, of the page, sorry. That's when you use the view bag, okay? So imagine that you want to show a drop-down list for the user. That's good to be sent in the view bag, okay? But if you are showing, like if the whole purpose of the page is to show a list of movies, that list should be sent in the view parameter. Okay, so again, the controller is doing a good job. Okay, it will return a page called get movie info, and it will send this movie to the page. And it's the page's problem, it's the view's problem to show that page, to show that movie. Okay. So now let's go to the page, to the actual view code. So this page doesn't really know about the controller. They work separately. This page doesn't know that you are going to send a single movie or a list of movies or an actor. You need to tell this page what is it expecting. Okay, you need to tell this page what is the purpose of it and what is this page is going to show. And that's when we use the word model. So here I can say model, okay? Okay, what am I trying to show here? Like, what are you sending to this page?
A movie.
A movie, okay? So what is the type of the movie? Let's go to the movie. It's movie. So movie is in my first applications.models.movie. So you need the full name of the type you are sending. Now, maybe you are sending a list. That's when you say, okay, I'm sending a list of this kind. If you are sending a list, but I'm sending only one, so I only need to specify the type. Okay, so this page should know what is it supposed to show. Okay, now this page now knows that, okay, oh, I'm receiving a single movie from my controller. Now it can work with it. Okay, so here you can say, for example, the movie or the information, the info for this movie are, and here like you can show stuff like what should I show? Okay, so how to refer to the thing you are sending? So just a second. So how to refer to the thing that you sent to the page is using the word model with capital M. Okay, so here you are saying, okay, I'm sending a single movie, right? So I want to show this movie dot like name. Okay, then I want to show dot what do we have? Category. Okay, and then you can show the release date. You can use it. Okay, so the word model will refer to what you sent. Now, if I sent a list of movies, then the model is what? Is a list. So you can do a for each over it. So you can say for each movie in the model, because your model will be a list. But here my model is just a single movie. That's why I can refer. And you will notice that you have autocomplete here. Your code will know that, oh, this guy is sending a movie, so I have a name, I have a category. Okay.
Mohammed?
So, yeah.
So would you say in this case we would use model almost like we would use this?
Right. So this is like the thing you are sending to this page. So it's almost like this. Okay. So let's try this page. Okay. Remember that this page needs an ID. It will bring the movie for you. It will send it to the view, and the view's responsibility is to show it for you. It's not the controller's responsibility. So what did we call it? We called it, okay, so this is the index page of the movies. Now, what is the page I want? Oh, okay. It's called get movie info, right? Okay. And you need to send the ID of the movie. Okay. You can, if the parameter name is ID, you can send it by slash, or you can send it the old way. Okay. Question mark ID equals, okay, as a query string. Okay. So here what happened, the controller brought the movie from the list and send it to the view. The view knows that it's going to accept a movie or receive a movie. and then it showed you the information of this movie. Okay. Okay, please try it out and make sure it's working. Oh. Okay, is it working with everyone? Okay, now what if I have, or if I want a page to show all the movies that I have in the system? Okay, so first let's create a view for it. So add a view, let's call it all movies. Okay. Okay, now all movies should expect what or should receive what?
List of movies.
Okay, so the model here should be a list of what? Web application. Let's see if it can see the movie right away. No, it won't. No. My first dot models dot move. So it should take a list of movies. Okay. Okay. So this page knows that. Okay. So here I can say something. All movies in our DB are okay. In our database are, and here we want to iterate through the model. So remember, the model now is no longer a single movie. That this you are sending, it's a list of movies. So you need to write a for each for it, okay, to iterate through all the movies that you are going to send. Who remembers the UL? What was the UL?
Unordered
Yeah,
Ordered
it's
list.
an unordered list. Okay, so it's when you want to show a list of something, usually use UL or OL. And how to represent each item inside it.
LI.
What's
Using
LI?
LI.
Okay, so you can say something like, for each what var. Okay, what are you sending? You are sending movies. Okay, for each movie in what? Where are the movies?
Model.
They are, we call them like the thing you sent, okay, which is called model. Okay, so for each movie in the model that I will send to this page, okay, what do you want to do? I want to like put it in an LI, okay, and here I want to say at or what did we call it? Oh, we need the at here. Movie dot name is from movie don't category. Okay, you can add the release date. You can show like you have the whole object. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so what I did here, I iterated through the thing I sent to this page, and I'm making an unordered list from it. Okay, so UL for the whole thing. Then for each movie, I am creating an LI, list item. Let's try it out. But first, we need to create a function called all movies in the controller. Otherwise, who's going to call this page? Okay, so let's go to the movie controller now, and let's create a function. Okay, this one will return a view. Okay, so it's going actual result. What did I call the view? I called it all movies. So this one also should be called all movies. Okay, just the same name as the view. Okay, this one doesn't need any parameters because I want to show all the moves. I'm not sure if this will make complex. No, yeah, we can't call it all movies because I have
Yeah, we have a list called all movies.
yeah, that's the thing. All movies in DB. Okay, like any name should be fine. Okay, so let's call this one all movies in DB. Okay, so I want to return the whole list of movies, okay, which I already have. It's called all movies, right? So I will return a view right away. But what are you going to send to that view?
All movies list.
Right? Yeah, because that list, that page is expecting a list of movies. So you need to send a list of movies. Okay, which one? We called it all movies. Okay, that's the list we want to show. Okay, now this function, okay, will call this page. This page now knows it's expecting a list, and it will iterate through all the movies. Okay, so let's try it out. We can go right away to the page, but be careful. Don't go right away to the page if you have a parameter. You will have an exception. Okay, and here we have a list of all movies. So we were able to send a single item. We were able to send a list of items. And of course, the same way you can send just an integer. You can send just a string. Eventually, the view is going to accept a type, any type. Okay, now let's create a page to show all the actors in our system. Of course, this should go in the actor controller. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, here are some good news. I'm not sure if you know Abi. He's not from the previous group, the previous one actually. Abi had an issue with his work permit, so he didn't get an internship. Well, he got one, but he wasn't able to go. So he's telling me that he just received an offer from Skip the Dishes. Skip the Dishes is actually a very tough company to go to. They don't want our interns because they said they want only experienced people. So getting there is pretty hard, actually. Um, well, as usual, he wants tips from me. I'm not sure why people coach. Like I just know some coding, guys. Like I'm not very good in those life tips and what should I do if I'm depressed and how to motivate my. I'm actually terrible in those things. But I will try to answer. But like honestly, like going to skip the dishes after 1 year of programming is really a very like it's an achievement. Of course, Abby was one of the best, and yeah, just wanted I just received this, so just want to show you like um, you can be like in the same place as people who learned for 5 years maybe or maybe more, but it's a lot of work to be there. Of course, Abby, one of the people who they changed their career. So I guess he learned something like uh, electronics engineering or something. Um, Not very similar to programming, but it's a field in technology. And he's been looking for work and applying for almost a year. But in this year, he was getting certificates. He was um, like trying to get those things that will boost his resume in front of leaders and in front of HR, like uh, people who are reviewing resumes. So if you are not able to find a job, that's fine. Okay. You just need to keep trying, just need to keep improving. So he was studying in Udemy actually. He was taking certificates, courses, anything while he was looking for a job. Okay. Sometimes we'll have some students like, I went to an internship, but they didn't offer me a full time job. And you will see them like totally destroyed, devastated. They thought that they will get the full time job right away once they go to an internship. And then they will start sliding from there just down the hill and they don't improve, they don't try to get and learn anything, and they expect like from the very thin resume they have that companies will just, I don't know, shoot the offers on them. But anyways, he's been looking for a job for almost 10 months now. Okay, eventually got it. Eventually he was able to find like one of the best places in Winnipeg actually. I know it's just delivering food, but this company is extremely high tech. You know, like you can track the delivery, you can order online. So actually, more like most of their work is just web development still. And the thing that's why they don't like us very much is that they only work with PHP and something else. So they hate Microsoft. They don't work with C Sharp at all. Okay, which makes it even harder to go to this particular one. Okay, some other companies they like Microsoft very much. This one
I
they
hear,
don't.
I
Sorry,
hear they work with Java too.
Java and PHP, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I forget Java. I don't know Java anymore.
yeah, but they are very like open source oriented. You know, I guess like sometimes people just really get very serious about those things. Yeah, I said serious and serious working. Yeah, this is very ridiculous. Okay, anyways, let's continue with our boring views. Yeah, enough with dreamland stuff. So, um, did you finish the actor one? So it's actually just like movies, nothing is special, but you need to get your hands dirty working with views. They look easy, but trust me, I forget the syntax every time. Because when you get used to C sharp, now you are writing a mix of HTML and C sharp. It's always like confusing, at least for me. Okay, so we need to do it ourselves, create lots of views, and like get used to the whole views thing. Okay, so let's do it for yeah.
Okay, so it's okay, no problem. Yeah, I would like to get another example, but a simple one without using links. Only show variables, one variables.
Yeah, okay. So we can show like what do we have? We have users, we have actors. Okay, let's show one actor, for example.
Yeah, that will
yeah.
look nice.
Okay, let's go
in
to
one specific view.
yeah, one specific view. Of course, like if you want to show an actor. So first let's create the index page so we don't have to deal with, problems that no index page. Okay. So that's the actor. I don't want to have anything in the actor index. So here, add another view. So you want it without link? Like.
Well, yeah. Do you create an index so it's only one actor? We can create another view.
Okay, so let's create a view to show one actor. Okay, show or get actor info. So this one will receive an actor, okay, and it will show it for you. Okay, so this one needs to know what is it expecting. So it will expect, okay, what's the name? My first MVC application dot models dot actor. Okay, that's what this page is supposed to show. Okay, then just few HTML things, actor info. So you sent an actor. Okay, let's start showing that actor. So you can use whatever you want, b, div, br, model dot like name. You can say something like the actor name has an ID of model dot ID. That's the actor you are sending. And what about we send and has performed in okay, what about we also say how many movies this actor has been in. Okay, model.movies.count. Okay, along with the model name, like actor name, actor ID, and actor.movies.count. Of course, like for now, I don't have any actors in my fake database. You need to create few. Okay, and make sure the movies is not null. Otherwise, it will make a problem. So let's go to the actor class very quickly. Yeah, so here, when you create an actor, okay, just make sure to initialize this movie thing. Otherwise, we'll get null reference exception. Okay, just initialize it. Okay. Otherwise, if you try to get the count of something that's null, boom, that's an exception. Okay. So this code of handling one item, one actor, is it like, is there any question regarding it?
That's okay.
Okay. So let's go now to write the code part, the controller part. Where should this go? in the actor, right? Okay. So this call should go in the actor. So here I need to return a page that's called get actor info. Okay, this one takes an ID of an actor that you want to show. Okay, so before I send the actor, the requested actor to the view, what should I do? I need to query it. Okay, I need to bring it. Okay, so var actor equals all actors dot first or default. Okay, the actor, that's what a dot id equals the ID that you just sent. Okay, now I have the actor. I extracted the actor. What should I do now? I need to send it to the view engine, right? To the viewing section. So, okay, return the view that's called get actor info and send this actor to it that I just brought from my database. Okay, now, okay, the user comes here, he enters the ID. Okay, I find the ID of the user. Then I will send it to this page called get actor info. This page is expecting one actor, not a list. Okay, then I will show some info from the thing, the actor object that I sent. And that's it. Now we may have problems because we don't have actors. You need to initialize few actors, few movies. Okay, put some movies in some actors in some movies. Okay, try to play with the data a bit and everything should be fine.
So if you're running this code now, well, imagine that we have one actor. If we're running this program, it will show us in the page. In what session?
So you mean if I started?
Yeah.
Okay, while I'm in this page?
I mean, in the browser.
Okay, yeah, well,
well it will be empty because we don't have any data now.
Yeah, that's why you need to create data or have a database for the data. But now there's another problem because see this page. This page requires a parameter, right? The ID of the actor. Here you are not sending any parameter. That's why you are having this exception. So if you are having this exception, that doesn't mean you have a problem in your code. That means you just opened this page without sending, okay, without sending the required ID. So here I can send the ID number 1. Okay, but you will have an exception now because we don't have any actor. So we need to create an actor. Or you can say something like that if I'm missing something here. Okay, let's try to create the actor, then we write the if. Just so we can see that distinguish between each other. Okay, so in actor controller, okay, we have these actors. Okay, let's create few actors just as a test. Actor A1 equals new actor A1 dot name equals Mike. Okay, and let's add him to the all actors. add A1. Okay, first let's see this guy if it's working. So we called it is in actor controller get actor info and number 1. Okay, so the actor Mike has an ID of 1 and has performed in 0 movies because I didn't add Mike to any movies yet. Okay, what if I want to add actors to the main place here? Okay, let's go and add actors link. So how do I add actor? Okay, the actor controller. Okay, how do I add this page to the list of main menu I have?
In the shared.
In the shared layout. Okay.
So in the share, you need to put the.
Yeah.
Can I see the project again?
Okay. So here. Okay. We want to add all actors or the actors index to the main menu. So where should I add it? To the layout. And where exactly? Behind the contact. Okay. Yeah. Can you do it? So to do that is just as easy as adding a new ULI. So HTML.action link, this is a link. Okay, so here you can say actor index, okay, for example, or actor. And what is the function or the page? It's the index page. And I want to use the actor controller. It's in the actor controller. Now, the next class, we will learn how to pass a parameter to the link. So when you click on the link, you will send the parameter right away. Sorry. So let's see if it's added. Okay. So here you will see a new link that will take you to the actor index right away. Okay. Now, what if the actor, or what if you want to check if the model is null? Okay, so get actor info. So you will see that the actor here, it had a problem when the actor was null. Because like, okay, what is the name of null? What is the ID of null? There is it. So we need to check if the actor is null. I'm not really sure why the... I'm not sure why it's not working.
Can be models with S at the end. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, it's just like the brain of this thing is not working. So sometimes you will have just errors that's not actual errors, but the intelligence here is just not fast enough. Okay, so just give it a second or two. Okay, now let's add another code, else. So else you can see, say something like the actor can't be uh, be found. Okay. So let's try it now. Okay. So we need to send, first let's send an ID that's in there. Okay, so the ID is there, fine. What if I send an actor that's not in there? Okay, now it will go to the else part and it won't cause an exception. It will just show this error message. Okay. Is it clear? Like, I know it looks weird, okay? But once you try it yourself, now when you try it yourself, you will always find those small errors like you forgot the at here, the model here is not working, okay? Or so you will have those minor issues, but when you try yourself, it should work pretty well for you. Okay, and now it was just a very small introduction. We learned about ViewBank. We learned about the model, sending a model, single item, sending a list of items, how to create views, how to link them with the controller. Okay, so we are now ready to show stuff like anything we want to show, we are ready to show. Okay, now if you want, for example, to just show a string or just show an integer, that's also fine. But you need to change the type here. So instead of like the type is actor, so now the type is at model is like string. And now your model is just a string, so you can just show a string. You can have like integer, okay, for your model. But usually if it's just an integer or just a string, it's fine to use ViewBank. Okay, like it's very rare to have a whole page just to show an integer or just to show a string. Okay, so here is just a type. You can say whatever you want. You can say the dictionary, a hash set, okay, anything. Okay, and the model will be related to the type that you specify here. So if you send a single item, now using a for each won't be logical because you just send one thing. Okay, when you send a list of things, that's, for example, when you need a for each. Okay. So any question? Is it hard? Is it easy? We just took the basic stuff. Okay, but now we are able to make real pages, okay, to send real things, either with ViewBank or with the model itself, okay? And now we can create more meaningful pages, not just pages that are a string or an integer, okay? Now, if you want to practice, try to modify all the functions that we wrote. Do you remember all the functions that we wrote? And most of them were returning lists or strings or lists, okay, or a single movie or a Boolean. Try to convert some of those to pages. Okay, like this one returns a movie. This one returns like just a Boolean or whatever. Then try to make those a real page by creating a view here. Okay, and by changing the type to action result and sending the model to the view. Okay, after the break, you will go right away to the lab. Okay, we will stop right here, okay, for our introduction of the views.